If you're trying to get into aerospace, you've probably been told you need an aerospace engineering degree. But aerospace doesn't work the way most people think it does. Every year, talented students walk away from their dream of working in aerospace, not because they couldn't succeed in the industry, but because they were told there's only one path in. What almost no one explains is why that belief exists, or how limited that picture of aerospace really is. This video shows you why you don't need an aerospace degree to work in aerospace, and why following what you love can be your best way in. I'm an aerospace engineer with 20 years inside major programs, leadership roles, and hiring teams. I speak anonymously because this kind of honest guidance isn't always encouraged in the industry, but it's important that it's shared. Most people think aerospace degrees are the gateway into the industry. But inside aerospace, that assumption doesn't really match how teams are built. And once you see how teams are actually formed, the one right degree idea falls apart. Aerospace has a reputation for being one of the hardest industries to break into. And over time, that reputation turned into a simple story students keep hearing. Go to a top school, major in aerospace engineering, and hope you survive the curve. That story sounds logical, but it didn't come from how aerospace teams actually operate. And the reason it stuck is probably not what you think. Recruiters and schools try to give students a single clear path forward. And that sounds helpful, but it unintentionally creates a very misleading picture of the industry. And once that simplified picture of the aerospace industry gets repeated, it kind of reinforces itself. Most students aren't hearing advice from people who've actually spent decades inside the field. They're hearing from recruiting materials, academic advisors, and early career engineers, often just repeating the same guidance they were given. The confusion is not intentional. It's just what happens when a really complex industry gets boiled down into something easy to explain and easy to fit into one curriculum. Over time, that limited explanation starts to feel like the whole truth. And students end up thinking that if they don't fit that one path, they probably don't fit into aerospace. That's where the misunderstanding starts, because that simplified story doesn't match how aerospace teams are actually built. And the industry doesn't hire the way the story says it does. So here's what that simplified story leaves out. In the real aerospace world, every mission depends on dozens of specialties. For example, mechanical engineers design mechanisms that have to survive real forces. Electrical engineers build and integrate the systems that sense, communicate, and control. Materials scientists make sure components are light, strong, and can survive extreme environments. Physicists focus on modeling, dynamics, and the map behind how the system behaves. Software engineers write the code that runs, tests, and connects aerospace systems. That's why no one degree, not even aerospace, can cover everything the industry actually needs. An aerospace engineering degree is a strong foundation, especially for systems-level thinking. But it isn't the single key that unlocks this field. And that changes how you should think about getting into the field. Aerospace is an ecosystem of specialists working together. To show you what I mean, here's the simplest breakdown of a rocket as an example. And even this simplified version already involves a surprising number of specialties. Each project is built around a few major systems: the structural system, the propulsion system, the guidance system, and the payload system. And each of those systems exists because different kinds of experts built it. And that core concept shows up everywhere in aerospace. That's why no single degree can possibly cover all of it. Even aerospace engineering degrees don't teach every part of aerospace. They can't. The field is too big. In practice, most aerospace engineers end up specializing in one area anyway. And this is something most students never hear early enough, because once you see it that way, the one degree idea starts to make a lot less sense. I saw this diverse specialization play out very clearly on one of my programs. I led a team dealing with a really tough vibration issue, and the person who ended up solving it didn't have an aerospace degree. She was a mechanical engineer with a background in robotics. She solved it because she understood dynamics at a deeper level than anyone else in the room. On that same project, our lead guidance engineer had a physics degree. The engineer debugging our avionics issues studied electrical engineering. And our propulsion lead came from chemical engineering. So when I hear someone say, only aerospace majors get aerospace jobs, I always think, have you seen how this industry actually works? If you want hard proof, just pull up job postings. You'll notice something important. Most roles don't actually require an aerospace engineering degree. Across companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and NASA, you'll see the same patterns. Mechanical or aerospace engineering, electrical or aerospace engineering, physics, materials science, or aerospace engineering. And sometimes aerospace isn't listed at all. Companies care about whether you can solve problems. The degree comes second. When hiring managers open your resume, they aren't looking for a degree box to check. They're trying to reduce risk. Hiring the wrong person is expensive. They're asking themselves, can this person help my team solve real problems? And they look for signs of that. Those signs can show up in prior work experience, internships, senior projects, research, or the way you describe your lab work. University aerospace programs are designed to expose you to the full field. Structures, propulsion, controls, materials, aerodynamics, everything. And that makes sense. Aerospace systems are complex. A lot of students go into aerospace because they love airplanes or space. And then the first couple of years are heavily theoretical. A lot of math, a lot of models, a lot of understanding how fluids move, how structures carry loads, how control systems behave. It's foundational work, but it's not always what people imagined when they signed up. And a lot of students start wondering if they made a mistake. Some students love that breadth. They want to understand the foundations of everything. And others realize they feel most energized when they can go deep into one discipline and truly master it. And when that mismatch happens, it's easy to think, maybe I'm just not cut out for aerospace. But that thought usually comes from not realizing there are other ways to get into aerospace. And this is where the myth does real damage. Sometimes smart, capable people walk away from their aerospace career dream without ever realizing they didn't have to. Here's what most students never get told. They didn't actually have to walk away. Aerospace is enormous. No single degree, not even aerospace engineering, can cover everything this industry needs. Even aerospace majors end up specializing. That's how the field actually works. So if you are studying or want to study mechanical, electrical, computer engineering, materials, chemistry, physics, you're not locked out of a career in aerospace. Those are exactly the kinds of specialists aerospace teams are built from. The question is not, did I pick the perfect major? The question is, am I getting really good at solving real problems in something I care about? I'll give you a personal example. Several years into my own career, I realized the roles I loved most required more specialization than I had at the time. So I went back to school and earned a master's degree in a very specific niche. It was one of the best decisions I ever made, not just financially, but because I finally got to work in the part of aerospace I genuinely loved every day. That's when it really clicked for me. Depth changes your trajectory. And later, when I became a hiring manager, I saw it clearly from the other side. Teams were actively looking for depth from different backgrounds. Aerospace is not an industry that rewards people who try to be everything. It rewards people who go deep into something specialized and bring that depth into complex systems. So if you love structural design, go deep in it. If you love electronics, master them. If you love writing code, build real projects. Aerospace needs more people who are excellent at something specific. Study what you love. Get really good at it. And learn how that specialty connects to aerospace. Trying to be everything all at once rarely works. The idea that there's only one acceptable path into aerospace is a simplified and unrealistic story. The real industry is built from specialists coming in from different fields. That diversity is not unusual. It's the norm. If you are majoring in aerospace, that's great. You'll get a strong foundation. And if you're studying something else, that's great too, because your depth might be exactly what an aerospace team needs. And that leads to something I want to say directly to the students watching this. If you've been watching this wondering whether you actually belong in aerospace, I want to offer a different way to look at it. Struggling through broad theoretical coursework doesn't mean you don't belong here. It might just mean you haven't found the part of the field that fits you yet. The aerospace industry is not built from one degree, and it's definitely not one narrow path to success. It's an enormous industry built by people who think differently, specialize differently, and solve problems in different ways. Some people thrive in the full aerospace curriculum. Others thrive when they go deep into one part of it. Here's what I've seen over and over. The industry does not filter out everyone who isn't a perfect aerospace student. It misses out on many people who assume they don't qualify. So before you walk away from something that genuinely excites you, make sure you're reacting to the real industry, not to a simplified story of it. Because the real industry is complex, and there's more than one way in. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what are you studying or thinking about studying? What is the part of aerospace that pulls you in? If you want clear, honest breakdowns of how this industry actually works, from college to hiring to long-term growth, subscribe. This channel exists to give you the kind of insight people usually only get after they're already inside the industry, so you can build a career that actually works for you.